Yo, it's your boy Bomber here. Yeah, Vegabomber, and welcome to Vegabomber Land. So, as I said, and as I promised, it'd be new videos on every Wednesday, and well, thanks, Marvel. Thanks, I appreciate it. I give them thanks for giving me something to talk about this Wednesday other than maybe some other movies that I've seen. That's right, what I'm getting at is the new Age of Ultron video. Yep, and what I'm getting at is new Age of Ultron trailer number 3. And I'd say that this trailer definitely is better than the second one. I think the second one was too much like the first one. Not a lot of new details, but that's not the case with this particular trailer. Oh my gosh. So let's get started. So how about this? So the first parts of the trailer, what we get to see is we get to see the twins and Ultron together. So whether the Ultron found the kids or the kids found Ultron, either way they're together and Ultron's kind of laying out somewhat of a plan to them is what we can kind of see. Then after that, what we see is David Banner and Tony Stark talking. And Stark goes ahead and makes the big confession. It was his fault. He's the one that created the AI that becomes ultimately Ultron and is the reason for all the problems. Then we get to see the scene where Captain America's trying to stop this car from going off the edge of this bridge. He grabs a hold of the bumper, but the car keeps going. And so now what do we have? Maybe some death. And you know what? That's going to have to happen. Somebody's got to die, right? It's a Joss Whedon film. You know, Coulson died, kinda. So you got to have something. And actually, this is going to give it some weight because I have a feeling that this movie is going to be a lot like Empire Strikes Back in terms of tone, but more about that later. So moving along, we also see a scene where, actually one of my favorite scenes is the scene where there's that big standoff between Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. They're on one side of the screen, and on the other side of the screen is Ultron, who looks like he's 10 feet tall, and the twins. And so it's kind of like an awesome, it's something that you could see in a comic book for sure in this one frame. And I love that. Just the idea, here's 3 good guys talking to the 3 bad guys. And they're about to say something to each other. Now we have to wait about a month and a half to see it, but that's good. That's what a video, or that's what a trailer is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you want more. Then there's a scene that I can remember where there's, looks like David Banner and Scarlett Johansson, or Black Widow, look like they're kind of about to get a little close, like maybe kiss, like there's something going on between them personally. Maybe this has developed since the last Avengers, you know. I don't recognize the background that they're in either, so maybe they're hiding out at some place and who knows where, but something's going on there with that. And then I love Thor's taunt in this video where he's like, you know, I thought you could do better than that, essentially. And then, of course, you know, Captain America with the well-placed joke, right? Although we've heard this particular joke many a times, you know, it's almost kind of like saying, I got a bad feeling about this when you hear this, but, you know, we're rolling with it. It's okay. Okay. You know, Cap says that, and then, of course, Ultron calls in all of his buddies and his backup. So that seems to be pretty epic from what that's setting up there. Now, there's also a scene of the Hulkbuster and the Hulk again fighting. I think that's just more fan service to me. Nobody beats the Hulk, so it's not as a big deal to me. I recognize it is for some others, and that's okay. But just a secret, Hulk always wins. Most of the time wins. You know, sure, somebody's going to find a comic book where Hulk lost, but at any rate, most of the time, Hulk's going to win, and I'm sorry, he's just going to beat the Hulkbuster suit. We just kind of should know that. But anyway, and I would say finally, my favorite, probably even better than just the standoff scene, was the shot after credits, supposedly, essentially in this trailer, was Vision. That's right. He was left out of the last video. He's in this one. It's funny. It's kind of like they took Andy Serkis as Claw, traded him out, put Vision in, and then took Andy Serkis out. So it's kind of interesting. Also missing this time around is there's no strings on me music. So they're ready. They're opening this thing up for us, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So here in Vegabomber Land, what we do is we have 2 ratings as to tell you whether a film is good or a trailer is good or not. And that rating system goes like this. If a film is good, more like a thumbs up, like it deserves props, we say that film is blowing up. Like a balloon, it's a good thing. Or if a film is just not worth it at all, detonated. It needs to be blown up like a building that's an eyesore. And I would say that this trailer, Age of Ultron, the 3rd one, I would say that this trailer is definitely blowing up. Now, real quickly, before I send you guys off, or before I go ahead and blow up and blow out of here, a couple of things. Here's what I hope for this film in a month and a half from now. Here's 3 things I'm really hoping to see. I'm really hoping to see some really awesome badassery from the Vision. Almost kind of like Han Solo coming in with the shot on the TIE fighter that ends up tripping up Darth Vader and sending him out twirling into space so that Luke can make that shot. I'd like to see Vision come in after the guys are just getting worn out, beat up, tore up, and all of a sudden he just comes in, maybe eviscerates the whole place with that gem in the middle of his head, or just show off his powers. That would be awesome. That'd be a way to, knock out all the Ultron bots instead of it just be some little thing you knock out up in space and then all of them die. That's a little too convenient, but it'd be cool to see some destruction. And while Ultron's learning how to beat the Avengers by the way that they're handling things, well, at the same time, Vision's learning how Ultron's learning, so he's learning how to defeat Ultron, and maybe Vision is the one that destroys Ultron. I see that would be pretty awesome. I definitely want to see that. Also wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of more character develop, since this is the time after the events of the first Avengers. It'd be great to see what happened with the friendships between the guys and how they're getting along and all of that. I think that would be kind of cool. Add a little bit of weight to it, so that'd be fun as well. And I'd say the third thing I want to see is I just want to see a good tone established early and then keep it. So it looks like they're going a little darker. Cool, keep it. Please don't try to put a bunch of humor in it to try to offset some of the tension, because once you do that, I don't think that serves as anything that we can emotionally get invested in. So I think there should be some humor, but it should just be well placed, but not throughout the whole thing. I really don't want to be trying to laugh when I'm supposed to be taking something serious when, there's some gravity to the situation. Here are 2 things I hope that the new Avengers movie, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, stays away from. 2 things I hope they stay away from. And one would be a lot of Avengers versus Avengers fighting going on. I understand they won't get along, maybe butt heads, maybe even argue a little bit. That's fine. But if we go to these movies every time to watch them fight each other, and really in this situation, you don't need to. You got Ultron and the Ultron bots. There's plenty of people to fight. So I really don't need to see Thor versus Hulk, Hulk versus Iron Man versus Captain America. I really don't want to see that right now. You can save all that for Civil War. So you don't have to show us glimpses of it now to make us think, Civil War is going to be perfect by wearing it out now. We've seen some fights already. Let's just try to make it to the point where Ultron gets the top billing as the main bad guy. Those are the fights I really want to see more than anything. And the second thing, mind control. This has already been done in the first one. It looks like it's going to be done a little bit now in this one. Please, Marvel, let's don't make these movies let's don't create a new trope for these films. They always got to fight each other, and there's always got to be mind control. Please, let's don't make that be the thing. I think there's still some other creative ways to show this team without having to always be somebody has to be mind controlled into something. We already saw the effects of that the last time, and it was okay. So that's it. Outside of that, I think everything will be great. But anyway, this is Vegabomber, and again, these are just my points, my reactions, kind of what I think. What do you think? Tell me below. Let's have a dialogue, and we'll talk about it. Am I off my rocker, or are you nodding your head going, that's right, player, say that. Say that. That's right. That's what I hope happens. I want to just see something interesting and fun and not have it run into a whole bunch of old cliches. We know there are going to be some, but let's just don't go back to the obvious ones. Let's just keep it clear. So it's your boy Vegabomber, blowing up and blowing out. Obligatory t-shirt grab.